So a few days ago, Lazarus wrapped up. I'm not sure if anybody checked it out because it's an Adult Swim anime. And the last one we got was Ninja Kamui. I don't know how it's getting to season 2 and 3. Nobody asked for that garbage. But this one had some promise. What I'm going to do is I'm going to break down the plot. Then I'm going to go into the pros. I'm going to go into the cons and then give my final thoughts on the show. But this is a review. There are going to be spoilers. And you do have time, to go watch it. And I'm going to go into this assuming you've already watched it. So let's keep it rolling. My goal is not to influence your decision in any way, shape, or form, but kind of inform you on how I feel about the show. With that being said, let's go ahead and hop into it. So what is Lazarus about? Basically a doctor, we'll call him Dr. Skinner because that's literally his name. He creates a super drug called Hopna. It's put in everything. And it's basically a curaga. Think like a cure-all or something, a stim pack from Fallout, if you will. And basically, one day he goes on the news and just says, hey, everybody's gonna die because they used Hopna. He made it so that Hopna would kill everybody within 30 days. I thought it was a joke. He was dead serious. And in order to stop the drug from killing everybody, they have to find him. And he is the one person who has the cure for Hopna. If you don't find him, everyone's cooked. A group is formed by this woman here, Hirsch, called Lazarus. It's a group of skilled criminals. Each member has a bracelet that kills them if they don't cooperate. The typical work with me or die scenario. That's basically the overall plot. Here's a brief speed run of the members. Dude you probably seen the most of, who's kind of like the main protagonist. His name is like Axel Gilberto. His whole thing is he breaks out of prisons. His prison sentence is like 800 years, just because every time he breaks out of a prison, they add a disgusting number of years onto his sentence. And he just does it for fun. He's actually stupid. He's basically this show's version of Spike Spiegel. And it's funny because a guy who created Cowboy Bebop also helped produce this show. He's a parkour demon, I can't front. Then up next, we got Doug Hadeen, I guess is his last name. From this point forward, I'm not saying last names no more. His name's Doug. He is basically the strategist of the team. When they go out and do work out on the field, he's the one plotting everything, setting it up. And then the next character is Elena. She's a team hacker. She basically sits in Cerebro all day and hacks machines. That's her quirk. But she's just a hacker. I mean, you learn more about her in the series, but that's basically what she's there for. Then there's Christine. Before she worked with Lazarus, she was a Russian spy. Her whole thing is guns. She has burners. She functions as the group's enforcer. She is a menace. Okay, last character, Leland. His role on the team is kind of like a multi-tool. I mean, he's super smart too, but they kind of treat him like a punching bag. There's literally an episode where they dress him up like a woman. He has to flirt with like some tech billionaire to get a key that kind of holds a location to where they think Skinner is. I mean, he's a pretty chill dude. He was literally in class and was just like, dang, bro, you about to die? I'm gonna head out. Let me go over to good. On paper, the plot is amazing. Sounds crazy. I'm here for the absurd, right? The visuals, they go stupid, especially on the intro, but the animation is crisp. It was definitely done by MAPPA. Then they did Jujutsu Kaisen. They put them in that 360 deal under that slave contract. We don't talk about that. Animation is fire. The music is really good too. And the environment, I'm really rocking with the futuristic clothes. Everybody's fits are crazy. I mean, technically it's supposed to be a spiritual successor to Cowboy Bebop, and it does show. It's very inspired by it. You don't see any Bebop characters in it, if that's what you thought you were getting into. No, it was just made by the same person that created Bebop. Okay, so now I gotta talk about the bad. Let's get into it. I mean, it's a wild goose chase. I get that. But we find this nigga Skinner by episode 3. We just don't acknowledge it. I mean, he was in plain sight. He's just like a bum, right? But yeah, that kind of threw me, but I'm kind of used to it in most kind of stories where there's just a chase for a hunt for a person. That person's usually in the most obvious place. Like in most movies and shows, the nigga you're looking for is just right there. I mean, that's not a bad thing, But I thought I was taking crazy pills because I was like, isn't that nigga right there? He's literally right there. He was there the whole time. I've noticed out of all the members of Lazarus, Douglas or Doug has like the least amount of information on him. Axel also has like a mysterious aura around him, but I know more about Axel than I do Doug. He's like a stranger compared to everybody else in the group. Let's see, Axel, you know, a little information about his necklace. They reference it. He says he has family. He lost a friend that was important to him a long time ago, but you learn that out a little later in the story. The only reason I know Christine is a spy is because she got I wouldn't say a whole 2 episodes. She got a episode dedicated to her. There's an episode where all members of Lazarus are split up and sent to different islands to search for Skinner, and Christine gets kidnapped. Basically, she got a love interest. It's some other chick that she left behind. An obvious death. Woo, oh no, side character died. That's crazy. Let's see. Elena, you find out she grew up in kind of a cult-like area and she escaped there. You get a little more fleshed out story for her. Leland, he's actually rich. He's basically supposed to inherit this fortune. He's not man enough to really scoop it up or whatever his sister was complaining about. Dr. Skinner, obviously, is the person we're looking for. You get a lot of information with her. Hirsch, you find out Hirsch is kind of like, I wouldn't say Skinner's love interest, but she worked very closely with that man's. The only one you don't know that much about that's a part of Lazarus is Doug. All you know is this nigga was very smart. He got insulted by a teacher and then he got kicked out of school. We don't get no episode that goes deeper into his information. Nothing of that sort of thing at all. I'm not saying he's supposed to get like a full fleshed out episode, but low key, I'm saying, could we get 1 episode or some information about him? Because all I know is he's Nigerian. He got kicked out of school, got an insult, did not take it well. Okay, to move on to my next gripe with the show, I'll have to introduce 4 more people. There's Abel, benefactor to Lazarus, good guy, okay? And then there are 2 other people. There's Schneider, and then this army guy, I don't know if he was like a leader or something, named Hayes. He doesn't last very long. He gets slimed out by Schneider. Basically, those 2, Schneider and Hayes, they hire an assassin named Soryu, or he also goes by HQ, to go kill Axel. Axel is apparently immune to the Hopna poisoning, which is why they did tests on him and things of that nature. That is more things that you have to worry about at the end of the story. But the assassin dude, he basically goes to kill Axel. He shoots him with a harpoon and then has like a mental breakdown because he sees Axel's necklace. And then he asks a question about the Hundun or whatever. And that doesn't tie into anything. He's just an insane person. Apparently, HQ or Siryu, he was an assassin that killed every assassin that was being trained with him. A bunch of child assassins. He wiped them all. For the rest of the series, after the first interaction with Axel, where he launches a freaking harpoon in his body and he has a mental breakdown and runs away, it's just like, who is this guy? He's just, it just had me feeling weird because it's like, we got an assassin here. He's going to do his thing, but he's also just a crazy person that really shouldn't have been hired as an assassin. Like the last episode, he's fighting Axel in a building and then the building collapses and he dies. And then he asks another question about the Hundun. Remember, Hundun in this case is a secret society of child assassins. That is all you get from that. And that goes nowhere. I'm assuming it's setting something up for season 2, if there is a season 2, but it just rubbed me the wrong way. My next gripe is with the dub. And the crazy part is, it's only about one person. Axel's voice sounds very weird to me. Everything else in the dub is perfectly fine. I usually don't care about dubs. If you choose dub or sub, it's whatever. I normally watch everything in sub. If I got a chance to listen or watch a good dub, I'll sit down and listen to it. I don't discriminate, okay? Axel's voice, he sounds like there's just like no urgency to it. Like, bro, we're gonna die in 30 days. You're just kind of chilling. But that's kind of like the carefree nature of the show, which it doesn't feel like there's really a threat. It's like, oh, crazy guys, we're all gonna die in 30 days. Let's crack a joke. Okay, let's hit a one-liner. But Axel's voice, he sounds so, it's like the man's out of it, and at the same time he just doesn't care what's going on. He's too carefree for me. But that's the only gripe I have about the dub. That's all I'm gonna speak on it. Okay, so my biggest gripe with Lazarus is the ending. Once the location of Skinner was revealed, it was the homeless center. That's whatever. Like, that's not even the worst part of it. So it reminds me of Fast and the Furious, where there are a bunch of smaller details that you come across, and then eventually there's like this big like reveal, and then they go step by step and show how each piece fit in, and then there's a whole thing. It's not that I hate those type of endings. It's just that, like, this one was rushed. It just felt rushed. So Skinner was going to get on a plane. He was carrying a dosage of Hopna that was lethal. And he ran into INSCOM and the NSA at the airport because they were trying to stop him. And then they opened fire, and one of the bullets hit the container. It unleashed Hopna in the airport. It killed a bunch of people. The reason why the group is called Lazarus is because 4 very lucky people were at the airport when the container exploded. They died and resurrected. And those are all protagonists. They are Lazarus because they rose from the dead, like the story in the Bible. That whole event was covered up, and Skinner wanted attention on it. So what he did was, in secret, he released Hopna into the air supply, made sure it was lethal, and since everybody used it and it was technically affecting everybody at the same time, he wanted somebody to ultimately uncover the airport incident and expose what had happened that day. When we find Skinner, he gives us the antidote and everything, and they give us like a montage of everybody getting cured and everything. But mind you, I'm pretty sure we found Skinner at like the 2-day mark. So low key, there's not a chance we'll be able to cure everybody, which, okay, unless somebody, I mean, they're in the future. They can possibly, I don't know, have like a drone disperse the cure or something, but it's just weird to me. Skinner dies, and yeah, we just wrap everything up. And also, Abel gives everyone in the team an offer to keep going as Lazarus, as like the group, and operating under him. And the bracelets are removed. Everyone in Lazarus agrees to continue, and they just kind of put a big bow on everything. That kind of wraps the story up. That's all I have to complain about, at least. Overall, the whole show is decent. Animation's great. I find that most shows nowadays, people don't really know how to stick the landing, and especially with Adult Swim shows, they always take like a weird turn. But I'm glad this one was at least better than Ninja Kamui. Never make that garbage again. Please, no season 2 or 3. That's all I gotta say. Get them out of here.